I'm super excited to go through this case study because it's one on our own site. So I want to kind of propose the problem that we were facing. So we have been posting a bunch of case studies on our site so that people can go in and see the work that we've done. However, they were just a list, right? They were just a list of all of the case studies, and we wanted a way to be able to sort them as well as filter them because we have a number of clients that come to us for different needs. They're all e-commerce clients, but they all have different problems that need to be solved, and we can help them solve those problems. And so what we wanted to do was we wanted to create a filter tab across the top in order to filter this out. Now, Shopify doesn't have a native filter system in there for pages. It does for products and it does for collections, but not for pages. So the first thought would be, oh, well, why don't we just go and make them products, and then we can change the template in order to filter it, and we can use all the filter tools. The issue with using products as a page title is it messes up the SEO part. So you would have stumble.ca/products/case studies, which can be confusing. We wanted to have pages/case studies/ the actual case study because it was an actual page. The other option that you have is you can go and set them up as blog posts. But as many of you know, blog posts are kind of the forgotten sibling in Shopify, and it's not the most robust system. So meta fields don't work very well in there. There's not a lot of sorting options. It really doesn't give you a lot of flexibility. So we decided to go and write all of our case studies into pages. Now, I'm going to walk through how we solved this filtering problem and how we made it so it was easy for the team to update. Now, this is based on an old technique. This is something that we used right in the beginning, which was using menus as link lists. And those menus were just basically ordered lists, which you can use and then style any way that you want, and then use them on the site. So let me go through what we did. So the first thing we went and did is we went into meta fields and we set up a meta field underneath products, and we called it it's not on products, sorry, under pages. Catch it, pages. And we went in and we called it target markets. So this was a single text field called target markets, and then we limited it to a preset list of choices. So these are all of the different categories that were in that we wanted to filter on. Now you might think, well, why didn't you use tags in order to filter it? Well, you also can't filter pages by tags. You can show the tags, but tags are tricky because you can't have a preset list of tags. Tags only show up in Shopify if something else is tagged with it. So it can make it harder for new staff hires to come in and know what to do. With a meta field, you get a drop-down list and they can go and add it. So it's better user experience inside of the dashboard. So we added in all of our preset choices. If we come up with a new choice, we can just simply go and add the item in here, and it will add it to the list. Then when we go to one of the pages, so if we go to one of our case studies, and we have a look at their case studies, we can see we have target markets here. And each one of these has a single one of those preset choices added to it. So we go add item, and then we just go select which one it resembles, or which one it categorizes. We can then also go and change the order of it and say, okay, these are all of the things that this project was able to do on this particular case study. Cool. So then after we've done that, we hit save. Now here's where the cool part comes in. So the first thing we're doing is we needed to display all of these pages on like a collection type page, right? We wanted to list them all out. So how did we figure out how to pull all of the page titles into another page? So this is a holding page that then pulls a list of pages in here. We did that through a linked list. So in our menu, so if we go to content and we go to menu, we can see we have a menu that is set up, which is called case studies. Now this is a private menu. It's not shown anywhere else other than in the dashboard and then pulled in through Liquid. But when we go and add a new case study in here, we can go and add a menu item. So we can add a menu item. We can go and find a link to a case study. So say we wanted to pick this case study here. It auto-populates the label. So now we have the label and the title that we're going to go pull into the selection page, and we have a link to the particular page. The benefit of doing this is now we can order order our case studies in the order we want them to show up on the page. So if we go over the page, we can see we can put our newest ones at the beginning, or we can go and rearrange these depending on how we want things to come up. So if I go and rearrange this and I reload this page, menus do take a minute in Shopify to kick in. I don't know if you know that or not, but menus are notoriously slow for updating in Shopify. So let's go, let's go here. There we go. It took about 15 seconds for it to update. So once that has been updated, you can see I've now changed the order, and then the first one shows up differently. So we have complete control over which items are listed in that list link, so we can manually create them. Now the second thing we went and did is for the tags along the top. So say I wanted to filter out sites that we just did lead generation for. I click on this, and what this does is it sets a variable in the URL with the title of the meta field that is selected to the current page case study. So for example, retail, you can see it says tag equals retail, right? And then we wrote a little JavaScript which hides all of the case studies that don't have the tag retail, and it just shows the ones that have retail. Now the way that we built this navigation is kind of the same way. We went into menus, we went to case study filters, and we added in a case study filter. So this one here is the retail tag. So this one here, the retail tag. And then we put in the link, which is put in a URL, which is the root of the page that you're on with a variable tag equals retail. And the most important thing we needed to do is make sure that the retail tag that you used in that link was the handleization of the meta field. So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is like the tag that we are using in the meta fields. So for example, lead generation. If we go into looking at lead generation here, so if we go into meta fields and meta objects, and we go to pages, and then we go to target market, we can see that this one here, lead generation, has a space in it, right? And so we want to handleize that, which is essentially change it to look like this, lead dash generation. So that's how Shopify would handleize the particular lead generation piece. And so when we are on the case study, we had to do a little bit of coding in order to make sure that this stuff got handleized. So let me show you what that code looks like. So if we go into, oh no, that's the wrong place. We go into themes, and we go into customize, and we go into edit, code. I can show you how this all works, and I'll kind of walk through the code of how this works. So starting off at the top, we have our JavaScript, which basically goes and grabs that tag from the URL. It goes in, grabs that tag from the URL, and it looks for the parameter tag. Once it has the value of that tag, it then outputs it to the console just so that we know what it is. We can actually comment that out now. We don't really need that. And then it goes and it looks for all of the elements on the page that have the class market. We just do that so that we can minimize the scope of where it's looking to make the page load speed faster. Then what we do is if the class list equals tag, it will set the element style to block, which means it will show it. Otherwise, it will hide it. So this is how you go and make sure that all of the ones that have that specific tag on it are showing up on the page. Then we come down a little bit farther, and then if there is no tag, it just shows all of them. So it resets the filter. And then we have to go and create the list. So we have to go and create this list out here so we have some links in order to do that. And so what we do is we iterate through the link list. So we go grab a link from the link list of this particular handled link list, which was called case study filters. And then we just output them to the page. So we output them and give them a location, and then we append it with that URL. And if you remember on the previous page, we used a URL which was != tag. So that's all it's putting in here is that != tag. Then we put in the link title, which because it's coming from the filters, so if we go over here and we go to let's go to, it's under content now, yeah, menus, and we go to case study filters, we'll see in here, we have the label case study filters in here, and that's the handle that we're taking, and that's what it's going to output as the text that shows on the page. Okay, so that's how we get that menu. Then we have, we need to create the classes that we're going to add to the menu objects. And this is where it starts to get a little bit complex, but essentially what we are doing is we are going through the new link list, the one that I showed you with all of the pages. Let me just go and show you what that looks like here. Is if you go here, this one here with all of the pages in it, we're linking through all of those. And then we are grabbing out first the page URL or the page object, which is the way that Shopify pulls the pages from their system. And then we're also capturing all of the meta fields that are included on that particular target market, the one that I showed you with the target market. Now we have to do a little bit of data shaping with those. We have to remove the brackets, we have to remove the question marks, we have to remove the spaces and remove the dashes so that we just get the straight words that are in that target market. And then what we need to do is we then need to handleize them, and we do that by down casing them. Once we've done that, we add them in as a class file into the class directory here. So we have our first class, which is market, which is what we use to search for everything. But then we have these selected markets. And so once this like capture has gone through and created the link list, we strip out all of the pieces so they just look like CSS declarations, and then we push them into the link list. So now each individual link has a class file of the exact market that it's targeting. And then that's how we go through and figure out which ones to hide and which ones not to hide. Now, in the actual link itself, we need to pull in a couple of pieces. So we have a hero image that we put on all of our case studies. So we are able to pull that from the meta field and populate the little card. And then we're also able to go and pull in the target markets. As you can see on here, if we go back to show all, we bought these little pills at the bottom which show which one it's involved in, so that people, when they're browsing through all of them, they know what items were done on that. And then we also have to do a little bit of cleanup of those tags and remove some different things in order so those ones are clean. And then if there's no link list, we say nothing is on that page. And then we just style it. And it's worked extremely, extremely well. It makes it super easy for us to go in, add a new case study. All we have to do is write the case study and then go and add the link list to the links of the things that need to happen and go and tag it, and it will show up. And yeah, so that is something that it's a technique that we often use in order to not hack around Shopify, but in order to leverage the things that Shopify does really well, where they may not have built-in infrastructure in order to actually implement it. So hopefully this case study was helpful for you. If you're struggling, like how do I build out content-rich pages that look like blogs but are using pages, there's a couple tricks that we used, and hopefully they're helpful for you. All right, that's everything for this one. Hope you guys are having a great day.